Hey guys, ViscosComb24 here, bringing you a real quick redstone video. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to build this. It is my new, improved 7x7 vault door. So as you can see, it all closes. When I go on over to the back, you can see it looks the exact same as the front. When I go back on over to the front and flick the lever again, you can see it will also all open. It's quite fast, pretty much the fastest I've made, and it's also the smallest that I've made a tutorial on. This thing is 13 blocks wide, 14 blocks tall, and 7 blocks deep, so it has a volume of 1,274 blocks. I have made this size before, actually many times before. Not all of them have been on the channel, but the reason I had never made a tutorial for a 7x7 vault door this size was because I could never get one that I thought looked good enough. Sometimes the sides would be out of sync, or the bottom would be really slow, and I really wanted to make sure that this door was as fast and have the nicest animation possible while also being this size before I was satisfied and ready to make a tutorial for it. And as you can see, it's pretty fast. Closing is decent, and the opening is one of the best I've ever made. And yeah, so now that you've seen the door, let's get on to what you'll need to make it. So obviously you'll need a bunch of blocks of choice. These can just be any solid blocks, movable solid blocks, 55 obsidian, 42 observers, 45 pistons, then 88 sticky pistons, or a stack and 24, 35 slime blocks, a single glass, a single glazed terracotta, and then obviously a toggle input. So those are all your building blocks. Now over here for the components, we're going to need 62 redstone dust, 38 redstone repeaters, a single comparator for a single hopper ROM, which is going to need 4 items. So there's all that. 21 total redstone torches, 10 blocks of redstone, 4 redstone lamps, then 2 dispensers or droppers, it can be either one. A trap chest for some funky redirection going on down here. And 4 armor stands and 4 golden pressure plates. It has to be these ones because they have the lowest cooldown out of all the pressure plates. And so, with all of that out of the way, let's get on to the tutorial. So we're going to start off in the dead center of the floor. For reference, it is that block right here that we're going to be starting on. Place 1, 2, 3 slime, and then blocks on top of those. Put down 2 temporary blocks, and then 4 sticky pistons facing up. Put a temporary block and then a piston facing up right there with your single glazed terracotta block, and now we're done with that block. Block, then piston, block. That is our quadruple. Put a temporary block and then an observer facing towards the front. 2 sticky pistons facing up. 3 slime, 3 blocks. 3 pistons facing up here for flattening, then a total of 4 sticky pistons facing up. Over on the back here, we're going to have a slightly different layout. Put down a temporary block, and then 2 sticky pistons facing up. You can now break it out. 3 slime, 3 blocks just like so. Then put down a block right there. Sticky piston, piston, and then blocks on their faces. Put blocks there. Then 4 sticky pistons facing up, just like so. We can cover these sticky pistons. We can put down obsidian. We're going to want to put an extra obsidian right here for later wiring. Then over here, put down a temporary block, a sticky piston facing up with a redstone block on its face. Then an observer facing down, and then a piston right there. That observer will come in later, but it's good to just place it in now. You can use it to position this. Now you can fill in the rest of your floor. And with that, we are done with the bottom layout and are ready to start wiring. So, our input is right here. Put down 2 sticky pistons facing out to either side from it, and you can place down your lever. See, that's going to be our input. Put down redstone blocks there and there. Temporary block, sticky piston, redstone block. Same thing over on this side. Now we're going to want to get out our redstone lamps. Put down a block right here, obsidian, block, then a lamp. This little mess right here is going to power these two sticky pistons, and then get in the extension for our double, then put down an observer, and then an observer there for the flattening. Over on this side, you're going to want to mostly mirror it. Start with your block, lamp, obsidian, but this time no block down here. Put down the two dust, observer, observer. And that is your double piston extender wiring done, but we're not going to be testing it because it will hit the push limit because of that terracotta. So let's get on to wiring up the quad. Put down temporary block so you can position a sticky piston with a redstone block right there. Observer facing up, two over. Now we're going to want to go over here because it'll be easier to start wiring up the quad once we have the bare bones wiring. Put down a block, block up, down, break that out. Repeater, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then 6 dust. You're going to want to mirror this to the other side as well, so block, block up and down. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, up. 6, and then a repeater right there. This will help us with hooking up the back and the sides. Put down 4 total sticky pistons on these blocks in the corners with redstone blocks on their faces, just like so. And go down here, put down a block with dust, put down 2 observers, an observer towards the middle, and then an observer facing right into the side of this sticky piston. That will be the final retraction for the quad later. Put a piston facing up into this obsidian block. And now we're going to want to go over here, get out a torch, block down, block up, block down, break that out, put down dust, then a 4-tick repeater running into there, then a block, and a torch. This is essentially just how I was able to make the door as fast as it is. Everything is very, very densely timed, and so this 4-tick repeater running directly into that is just enough time for this to push up, and also just enough time for it to be able to retract once that redstone block gets moved out of the way for the final extension of the quad. Go down here, put a piston, torch, block, put down 2 blocks, then an observer facing down and an observer facing in. We're going to want to put down a 2-tick repeater, then dust, piston right there. Put a torch on the side of this piston, and then get out your glass block, place it down here, dust, and then a block. And now we're done with glass. We don't need any more glass blocks. Over here, right next to the block that's getting power from that observer, put a sticky piston facing up with a trap chest. The reason for this is we want to be able to repulse this thing on the opening so that once that redstone block gets moved out of the way, it gets a pulse and is able to retract it down. Go over here, dust, block, 2 blocks, dust there, get out repeaters, put a repeater there on 1 tick, and then 2 ticks. And now, I believe we're ready to give the quad a test. Actually, no, not quite yet. First of all, go over here, put down a piston with a torch, and then one of your droppers or dispensers, place it down there. You can see it'll push up and pull back down. We're going to need to reset the position of this terracotta block because it is important to the extension. Now, go over to this side, put a block there, repeater, running into a block, hopper, crouch, and place a hopper facing into that one, and break this out and crouch and place it into that, so we can get a little bit of a ROM going. Put down a torch, 2 blocks running into a block, 2-tick, 2-tick, torch, block, crouch, and place a block there, dust, dust, and then a 1-tick repeater. We can actually do the same over here. 1-tick repeater, dust, dust, there we go. And now, just place a block down right here. We are ready to give the bottom wiring a test. So as you can see, we get the full extension of our quad. And when we flick the lever again, you can see we'll get the full retraction. The flattening will come from our hopper ROM here. And if you want, you can go and put in your 4 throwaway items now. I've found that in some locations, it actually needs 5. It can work on 4 pretty much everywhere, but if you do find that it's not flattening, then replace it or just add another item and then make sure to reset this, because this right here is important for the extension. You can see I'm powering that piston through the terracotta. So let's get in the flattening. Put a piston facing down, block right there, with a comparator facing into the piston. Put down, I guess you can leave the temporary block there, so you can position observer, observer, then observer, observer. Break that out. There we go. Put down your other dispenser or dropper right there, and then crouch and place an observer facing into that block so we can get in the flattening for the double piston extender back here. And speaking of that double piston extender, let's get in its extension. So put down a piston, torch, block, 2 blocks down, a 2-tick, and then a bit of dust. Piston right there with a torch on the side of it, block, and get out your obsidian, block, and then an obsidian right there, dust, and then a 2-tick. And so with that, I believe we have got the full extension of the entire bottom wiring, and then the full retraction with flattening. So yeah, now that we're done with the bottom, let's get on to the sides. So to start off with the sides, you're going to want to put a torch on the side of this block, then a piston, torch, piston, torch, and then a piston facing up. Mirror this to the other side, so first put down your block, then torch, piston, torch, piston, torch, piston. There we go. See, just like that. You're going to also want to put torches on the side of those pistons towards the middle, just for later. Now get out your sticky pistons and your slime, because it's time to set up the layout. Put down 3 sticky pistons right here, then 3 normal pistons, and then another 3 sticky pistons. Mirror this to the front. Then 3 slime there. 2 sticky pistons, 2 normal, and then 1 there. 2 sticky, 2 normal, 1 there. And then slime there and there. That is our side layout. I'm going to start by putting down a total of 5 obsidian right there. Then we can start filling in our walls. Just like so. Put down another 6 obsidian to create a little oblong X, and then fill in the rest of your walling here. Now we're going to want to mirror this to the other side, so 3 sticky, 3 normal, 3 sticky. Same thing on the front. 2 sticky, 2 normal, 1 more. And then same thing on the back side. And we can place in 10 total slime here, just like so. Now, put a block there, and use this to start positioning your obsidian. We can start filling in the walls. Same thing on the back side here. Oop, I appear to have accidentally broken out a block. Yeah. So, yeah, that probably won't happen to you, but I have to live with the consequences of my actions. So yeah, finish filling in your walls. Put in the little X shape. And there we go. Those are the walls all ready to be wired. So, first things first, I'm going to go up here, block, dust, block, then a repeater there and there, running into blocks, obsidian, dust, blocks, and then 1 tick repeaters. Then we can put observers facing down there, 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 and there. These 2 observers on the outside handle the flattening for the double, and then these 2 observers handle the final retraction for the triples with these sticky pistons and redstone blocks. In order to get the flattening for these triples, put an observer there, running into a block there, with a 2-tick. And then for the backside, 2 observers facing down and then another facing into there. This isn't the best solution, but it was the most efficient I could think of, especially because I couldn't fit in a repeater. It would power that dust, and things got a little bit messy. So now we're going to want to mirror that to the other side. Block, dust, 3 blocks, obsidian, dust. Now we can start putting in our repeaters. Put an observer facing down right there, 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 and there. Put in the 1-tick repeaters on top, and then the sticky pistons facing down with observers. In here, place down an obsidian block with dust. This is for the double piston extenders, and also for the triples. And with that, believe it or not, that is essentially your sides ready to be tested. They won't be able to flatten. However, you can see they will fully extend, and they will fully retract. There we are. Now, over here, let's get in the flattening wiring real quick before we get onto the entity tricks. So, observer, 2-tick, then the 3 observers just like so. Now, to get onto the entity tricks, you should have a few pistons for the top that you can just use for this bit. You're going to want to first place down an armor stand, 3 blocks, just like so, then put down a piston, and push the block into the armor stand. On top of this block, put down a pressure plate. You're going to want to mirror this for all 4 corners. And once you've got that done, you will be able to power your sides. If it isn't obvious enough, the way that this works is just the armor stand gets pushed up with the redstone block, activating the pressure plate, and the pressure plate doesn't have that long of a cooldown, so this thing is able to retract without hitting these extended pistons. And with all of it in place, you can see we get in now the full extension of our walls, and the walls will be able to flatten. Nice. So yeah, you can see here, apparently I'm in a location that requires a 5th item, so I will be adding that in, I guess. It's better safe than sorry. And besides, the 5th item doesn't actually add that much delay. So, now we're ready to get onto the top. We're very nearly done with this door. First, start by placing down 2 blocks there, and then 3 obsidian, straddling it. Put down 2 temporary blocks, and use this to position 3 sticky pistons facing down, then 3 pistons facing down, and then a total of 5 sticky pistons right there. Mirror this to the back side. There we go. 3 slime, 3 slime, then break out that block. You can actually leave this one. This will be used for the wiring. Put obsidian there and there. There, 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 and there. You can see we got a little bit of a bone shape. And now that's actually it for the obsidian pattern, and you can fill in the rest of your ceiling with regular blocks. There we go. So that's the layout all ready to be wired. Get out your torches, put a torch there, block, torch, block. Mirror this to the back side. This is just going to get power to a dust line covering these pistons so that they all extend. Go over here, put down a block, then a block up, 2 dust, and then a 1-tick repeater. Right next to this, you can place down a temporary block right there to position these 2 sticky pistons with blocks right there. This is to cut off this dust right here until everything else is extended so that we can get in the 3rd extension of the triples without it getting caught right here while it's at that position. And in order to do that, we take power from here. 1 tick, 1 tick, and there we go. That's this side done. We're actually essentially finished with the door because over here, put down dust, dust, block, block, 1 tick, 1 tick, obsidian there and there with dust on it, block up, and then a 2-tick. And that right there actually is the full extension and retraction of our triple up top here. The only thing I'm going to do now is put down a lamp with an observer running into dust. Same thing back here, because that will flatten our ceiling. And believe it or not, that is the entire door done. I believe this is pretty much the best design of 7x7 vault door I've ever made. It's got a whole lot of simple mechanics up top and on the sides in order to make it really, really speedy. The bottom is also essentially to the tick perfect. In order for me to make it any faster, I would usually have to go a little bit bigger. So I'm very happy with how this turned out, and I hope that this proves useful. I know that I've made a lot of these tutorials, but I think this is probably going to be the last one. I don't think I'll be able to make any smaller than this with the same standards that I have for tutorial doors. So I hope you enjoyed this, I guess, finale to what has essentially become a series of 7x7 vault doors on my channel. And yeah, I'm ViscosComb24, and I'll see you all next time.